Hello and welcome to today's video. Volatile week is behind us, but what makes that week important is that it could define next couple of months ahead. Gold printing all-time highs, pressure on regional banks, latest Jerome Powell remarks and other interesting things are topics of today's video. Without further ado, let's start. Before we start, disclaimer, nothing here is a financial advice, I'm just one person with a microphone, always do your own research. Markets ended the week in the green after volatile transitions, first regional banks' fear sparked sell-off, and by end of the week Trump's lighter tone on China, combined with Fed latest updates, gave relief to the markets. S&P finished less than 2% away from new all-time highs. Less than 2% sounds pretty good, but when looking at the investor sentiment, which is in fear while recently entering extreme fear, it paints a weird correlation. Because what would happen then if we get 10% correction, which even though it wouldn't feel nice, it would be healthy for stock market. Another side of the coin, at least investor sentiment, seems to be bottoming. While traditional investors run just from the thought of potential 10% correction, in crypto this is just like a normal morning. Jokes aside, total crypto market cap retested and rebounded successfully from its 200 moving average, but for real strength we need to see Bitcoin hold and rebound from its own 200 moving average first. In regards to the earnings, week started strong from the side of the AI sector, which is fueling this rally in general. ASML, lithography machine maker, reported 7.5 billion euros in net sales with 2.1 billion euros in net income for Q3, while delivering elite gross margins of 51.6%. Guidance for Q4 for net sales is to range between 9.2 and 9.8 billion euros, with gross margins in the 51 to 53% range. They also continue to expect for revenue to grow in 2026 despite reductions of their business with China. Now switching to TSMC, which reported revenue of $33.1 billion with gross margin of 59.5%. Main parts of distribution network for their revenue are as follows. 3 nanometer contributed 23% of wafer revenue, 5 nanometers for 37% and 7 nanometers for 14%. For Q4, expected revenue is between $32.2 and $33.4 billion with gross margins in 59 to 61% range. Main reason of the market weakness last week was bad loans from some regional banks. Zion Bank disclosed 50 million write-off related to the commercial and industrial loans, while Western Alliance faced losses linked to the bankruptcy of auto parts company First Brands. This by itself wouldn't be that terrifying as they are relatively small institutions in terms of net assets, but what spikes fear is that based on these examples there may be others yet to come. 2023 all over again. Even though this sparked fear, as we all know, even 2023 recent bank crisis was successfully resolved, so this now is something to take in consideration, but still it is not a de facto to turn bearish. Especially when there is currently 99% chance of the new rate cut at the upcoming Fed meeting at the end of October, which shouldn't surprise as on the later speech provided by Jerome Powell he stated that even though short-term inflation remains elevated thanks to tariffs as the main cause, while long-term they still believe they are on the right path to their target of 2%. He also mentioned that they see weakness in labor market, which is why there is a high probability of the upcoming rate cut. Another bullish catalyst is Powell saying that Fed is inching closer to their plans of the liquidity structure on balance sheet and that QT is coming to the end in the following months. In other words, money printer will be put soon in its highest gear. Lastly, earnings season is kicking in a full swing. Those who follow me on X know I own Elevance Health, so there is no surprise. I will be monitoring closely their earnings and earnings call on this Tuesday, so feel free to follow me on X for live updates. There are also big names like Netflix and Tesla reporting among many others. If you are more a person who likes to read and want to check more of my topics and deep dives, feel free to check my Substack. For more live updates and market insights, check my X, and for educational content, check my website. Links for everything will be in the description of this video. Okay, this is everything for today's video. Like and subscribe for support and see you in the next video. Bye!